Welcome to the Gig Podcast, the God is Great podcast. This is Mandy, and I am here with Jennifer today. And Jennifer has an amazing story. I've heard a little bit of it, and I cannot wait for her to share it with you. Hi, Jennifer. How are you?
Good, Mandy. How are you?
I am doing great. It's been a really good day. So
Good.
we have talked a little bit, but go ahead and introduce yourself and tell a little bit about who you are.
First of all, thank you so much for doing this. And I think that a lot of people will benefit from this so that they know that they're not going through this by themselves. And so this is amazing. Thank you
Thank
so much.
you. Thank you. I
So my
appreciate
name
that.
is Jennifer, and I am a mom of two daughters. They're both in their 30s. I am also a grandmother. I have three grandchildren. They are all range from 10 down to 6. And they are the joy of my life. They are so, each one is their own little individual little people. They are just the greatest. Um,
Absolutely.
they're just so great. I work for a company where I am the region president's assistant. So I'm very busy. I have a lot to do. I have a lot on my plate, but this is a blessing. I moved down to Florida from New York, where I originated, and because they eliminated my position during COVID, that's when I moved.
Okay.
And so I've been in Florida for about a year. Love it. I can't say a bad thing about it, except for the hurricanes. I mean, the hurricanes are, we haven't had one this year, so thank God. But
Yeah,
so I had to move. I'm by myself. I really don't know anybody here. So this is a God's journey because yeah, if it was up to me, I probably wouldn't have, but he made it very easy. He came knocking on the door and he said, listen, it's time. You have to go. So I did.
absolutely. And you answered God's call, and now you mentioned 2020. So from what you told me, 2020 is kind of when things started to snowball for you in your life. So why don't you tell us about that?
So 2020, during the cusp of COVID, my dad was hospitalized and he was running a really high fever. We didn't know what happened. Well, long story short, he ended up passing away.
Oh wow.
And what was on his death certificate was sepsis. We don't know what happened. They tested him 8 times for COVID, all came back negative, but we didn't get to go see him. We were FaceTiming him maybe once that the nurses let us,
Yeah.
and he was sick. He definitely was sick. So we didn't get to say goodbye.
Oh,
So that happened in 2020. Now, as I'm with my mom going through all of this, I worked for a CPA firm as well,
okay.
and they also eliminated my position. So this is twice, right? So this is the first one. And so they waited till my dad passed until I got over that. And then they said, listen, your position is no longer needed. We have a lot of small businesses that are closing. So, we don't need you. Okay. So that's the second thing.
Wow.
And so I also was going through a divorce. My found out that my husband was cheating, and I kicked him out. That was the end of that. So all three things happened within, I want to say, between a 6 and an 8 month period.
Oh wow, that's a lot.
I, at this point, you're like, your head's reeling. You're trying to grasp everything. You have to handle, your dad's funeral. You have to sign divorce papers, and then you have to find a new job. So all of this is like crazy at this point.
Yeah.
I never once, I have to say, as much as I wanted to lose it, nope, God had me. He had me the whole time because not only did I help my mom, I organized everything. I ended up finding a new job, and then the new job wasn't until like 3 months after. So I got to
Oh wow.
rest and decompress. And during that time, when you were on unemployment, you
Yeah.
were getting that extra. So it was
Oh
like I
yeah. Oh
didn't even
yeah.
skip a beat.
That's
So
really
that
good.
was good. Yep. So I rested, I prayed. There was a lot that I had to regroup before I went into the next chapter of my life. I had to move into my own apartment. I sold my house. So there was a lot going on.
Yeah. So you kind of go into like a survival mode, but it's almost like robot mode. You don't have time to think. You don't have time to even process anything. You're like, I just have to get this stuff done. And then once it's done, then you can breathe. And you were given that season of rest, which is huge.
Yes. Yes. I was grateful for that.
Absolutely. And so the job that you were offered that you had to wait 3 months for then is what ultimately took you to Florida.
So not initially, because it
Okay.
was the same company, only up where I lived in New York. And then um, they eliminated, so I worked for the region president up north in New York, but they eliminated her position when we regionalized, which we do quite often. And
Yeah.
so I was without a job again. But I'm like, you know what, God, you showed me the best of you when I was going through the worst. I think you got me again, again this time. And sure he did. So we were looking on LinkedIn, and it
Yeah.
very rarely do you see this position on for our company on LinkedIn. Very rarely, because it's always internal. And so I saw it. I'm like, okay, same company. I can do this. What do you think? Like, and I'm talking to him because I have nobody else. I'm like, God, what do you think? Florida? Are you kidding? Like, is this a real thing?
Right.
Okay, let's try it. And so they interviewed me and they said, when can you start? This was in March. I said, give me a month. I gotta do some things. Moving. Um, I flew down and I did this in 1 month, end of April. Yeah.
Wow. So you
Was
got
that that's the craziest thing I think I've ever done.
wow. So you got everything done and moved. Now, are your kids still in New York or did they end up following you to Florida?
So my one daughter, my oldest, she's in North Carolina, and
Okay.
she's got my two grandchildren. My youngest one, she's my challenge.
Yeah.
She was up in New York, and what she went through was absolutely, this is a godsend as well. Um, she she's an addict,
Okay.
and she overdosed four
Oh no.
times, four
Oh
times.
wow.
And each time, so the first time I was up in New York with her when this happened, and she she was I don't want to say she was unconscious because I don't know what happened, but she was out of it for 12 hours. 12 hours.
Wow.
And I don't know what woke her up. Well, I do know what woke her up because that's our faith, right?
Right.
Woke her up. I got a text at 10 o'clock and it was all gibberish. I couldn't even read it.
Oh
And so I
geez.
tried calling her back. There was no answer. And um, come to find out, then the hospital called me not even maybe 45 minutes later and
Okay, to
said,
let you know that she was awake.
they said to get down there. They said to get down to the hospital. What happened was she couldn't reach me. She doesn't even know to this day how she dialed 911, but she ended up doing it.
Oh
And
wow.
yeah. And she said, Mom, I don't even know what I said. I can't even tell you what I said on the phone, but they ended up getting her.
Yeah.
And they ended up getting her, and they ended up reviving her in the ambulance because she already died for like a few minutes, and they ended up getting her back. But this happened four times. So the initial time I was up in New York, I went and got her. We thought everything was good, right? And then I
Yeah.
had to move down here. I told her, I said, are you going to be okay? Yeah, I'll be fine. Well, according to her sister, this happened three times after that. I didn't know.
Okay.
I get a phone call. I was hosting a game for a football game for my company, and I get a phone call. Um, it was one of her friends. Alex is in the hospital again. I'm
Oh
like,
geez.
what happened? Like, here we go.
Yeah.
And again, her friend was with her. They woke up in the morning. Alex was blue. She was blue. And they grabbed her. It must have happened right when the ambulance came, and they ended up reviving her again. So now she's living with my oldest one in North Carolina.
Okay. Now, is she on the road to recovery? Is she like in sobriety?
She is. So she is in therapy because I think
Okay.
that's a big part.
Yeah.
And she's my religious one, believe it or not. Believe it or not. I mean, I told her, I said, God has a plan. He's got a plan for you. I said, what? You really are a miracle.
Absolutely.
4 times over, you're a miracle. So he's got a plan for you. I said,
Yeah.
you're definitely you have a calling. So please focus on that.
Yeah.
So she said, I know, Mom. I think she was trying to, um, I don't want to say kill herself, but I asked her, I said, what is going on with you? She goes, Mom, it never works.
They call it what is it called? A silent suicide, where you just kind of give up and
Yeah,
don't stop caring and stop taking care of yourself. It's not like you're actively trying to, unalive yourself, but you are not actively trying to keep yourself alive. So,
and
yeah,
so like the physical, right? Like
yeah.
she wasn't taking care of herself. She wasn't taking care of her apartment. We already
Probably
had
not
cuts.
eating.
No, not eating. Mm-mm.
Wow. Now, something I've learned over the years is, praise God, He checks the posture of our hearts. And it sounds like your daughter leans in and doesn't turn away from him, even though she knows what she's doing is not what she's supposed to be doing. But not once does she turn away from him. Same
Mm-mm.
story with Job, same story with King David, all of them through the Bible. They sinned, but they never once turned away from God. And it sounds like your daughter is kind of dealing with the same thing. So I have full faith that she'll have a full recovery mentally, spiritually, all of the things.
Agreed.
I think that's huge. Yeah. Wow.
So we're working on her getting baptized again. So we were raised Catholic,
Okay.
um, and I turned away from that, and now
Mhm.
so I went into a Christian um, non-denominational faith, and
Yeah.
I was baptized before I moved to Florida too because I knew this was a big undertaking. And I said to her, I said, you know what? I said, this is a chain reaction now. Mom did it, and now you guys do it, and now the grandchildren. Like we all should, you know. But so with the church that I go to, and I don't know how many of your followers, we make the choice as an adult, not as a child, right?
Right.
So the
Right.
babies, when they're baptized, they don't know, and
They
then
don't
what if
know.
they're not raised properly, right?
Yeah.
So I said, now you guys being an adults, you should be baptized, and it's got to be your choice.
Yeah.
So she said, Mom, she goes, after I'm done with my therapy and my recovery, she goes, I think spiritually I'm ready.
That's amazing. I love that. I love that for her and for you. Because as a mom, our hearts, our hearts never stop aching for our children. They're the only thing we can take to heaven with us.
Correct.
So
Correct.
that's,
And driving home from the hospital the first time, they didn't know if she was going to live or die. Her heart was not good. And she had already went into, I want to say rigor mortis because her body was in a state, a non-movable state for 12 hours
yeah.
that her body already started, right, to set in. And
Yeah.
they didn't know if she was going to live or not. And I'm pleading with God, and I'm driving home, and I'm like, okay, what I, can you help me here? Now, this is the only
Right.
time I said, I know I ask you for a lot of things, but I really need you right now.
Yep.
And here she
Yeah.
is.
That's amazing. That's amazing. And I think as humans, we definitely underestimate the power of God. But when we
Mm,
remember his power and we step into that, it's like God's like,
yes.
okay, you finally see me for who I am. Let's do this. Yep.
Oh, I know. We never think we're seen, but then he pops up, and yeah, here we are.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Exactly. That's amazing. So now with you, you are in Florida. How are things going?
So things are going well. My job is great. My team is amazing. They're very appreciative, very happy people down here. And I have my friends from New York. They visit. My mom visits. She stays with us for a little while because she doesn't want the snow. I don't blame her.
Yeah.
And um, yeah, it's good. Even though I don't have my family down here and I am by myself, I he puts me in the right path of certain people, and he's making it work. He's making it work, not me. I'm not taking credit for any of this because I could have never done this without him. Never in a million years. But he's making
Amen.
it work down here. Absolutely. I found my church within 2 weeks, right down the street. Everything was just fitting. It was just incredible.
Good. That's so good. I love that.
Yeah.
So, any words of advice or what would you like the listeners to hear from you? What is your takeaway from everything that you've been through?
So my thing is, number one, do not judge anyone because everyone has a story, and you don't know where they are in their life. And when you see someone maybe struggling or in a bad mood or whatever, just give them a hug. Be kind because you never know where they are. Second thing is, never underestimate, just like you said, the power of God, because he can take you anywhere, wherever he wants you to be, because he doesn't you have a fulfillment. You have something that he needs to go out and maybe crusade or recruit or witness something. You
Absolutely.
are here to profess the faith and witness for him. And when he knocks on that door, you better open, right, Mandy? Right?
Yes, absolutely, absolutely.
And for the moms that are dealing with addiction, it's never too late, and it's never out of God's hands. um you can only go so far. You can only do what you can do. It's up to them. But if you pray and you keep it in God's hands, he will make sure that everything works out. If I didn't have him, I don't know where I would be, Mandy. Like whatever I told you, if I didn't have him, I don't know where I would be, honest to God,
Absolutely. Yeah.
because we can't do it
Absolutely.
on our own. Even the
Yeah.
atheists, I'm going to say, because they're like, oh, well, how do you know there is a God? Well, if there isn't, then so be it. But at least I
Yeah.
have hope. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? At least I have some type of hope that I'm going to get through something,
Yeah.
right? I'd rather believe in something than nothing.
Right. I don't have enough faith to be an atheist. That takes a
I'm
lot of
sorry,
faith
like
to
I
believe in
can't.
nothing.
I couldn't do it.
I
Absolutely couldn't
couldn't
do it.
either. No, no. And nothing against atheism. We are here to plant seeds. Um, they will find their path. But something
They
else
will.
too is, you know, something that I hope my viewers know, and like with your daughter using drugs, we have so many people that are out on the streets and living, in that world,
Yeah.
drugs, alcohol, whatever. And I hope that people remember that they are someone's child. They are someone's something. They matter to somebody,
They
and
do.
somebody is praying over them. And if nothing else, Jesus still died for them.
Yes.
And to not be ugly for them, just love on them, you
Yes.
know. And so
Absolutely.
and Jesus says, if you care for the least of these, that's I had an experience a while back, and that was what I heard, was that, just those words, the least of these. I just kept hearing it over and over, and it's so profound and impactful. But that's somebody that somebody loves.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely
And
right.
and you don't know what's going on. And so, yeah, so be kind, right? Be kind.
Be kind because you never know. You just never know what people are going through.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And everyone has their own journey that they have to go through. And I do believe that everyone's journey ends up being their testimony. And I think that's one of the biggest things on here that I do push is let your journey be your testimony and sow into other people and plant those seeds. And we're seed planters. We can't lead people to Christ, but we can definitely plant those seeds.
Absolutely. And so when
Yeah.
you said that this is what you wanted to do, and I'm thinking to myself, this is the greatest gateway because you're going to help a ton of people, but then you're going to let other people with stories bring it to light so that maybe we can plant seeds through you. So this is a gift.
Thank you. And not for my glory, but definitely for God's. And I
God's
do
glory.
believe that I do believe that God gave me this ability um, so that He can shine. Because there's so many people out there that they have walked a road that somebody else is going through right now, and they can definitely be that stepping stone for someone else. I think. So I think that's huge.
So I'm going to pray for you, and I'm going to pray that you continue this, and that this will be the most successful um, outlet for everybody. Who's ever listening or who's ever has a story to tell. I hope that you continue with this because this to me is amazing.
Thank you so much. That means so much to me. Wow. I appreciate that. Well,
You got
Jennifer,
this.
thank you for being on here. Your story is incredible, and I know there's a lot of people that go through just one of the things that you've been through, and for you to go through all of those and still coming out on the other end, giving praise to our Creator. That's huge. So thank you for
He's the
being
only
willing to
way.
share. Yeah,
Mandy, thank you. And you know what? You're gifted and you're blessed.
thank you so much. I don't even know. I don't know what I'm doing. All I know is God's saying step and go, and I'm going.
When he knocks, you gotta go. You gotta open
When he
that door.
knocks, we go. Yep. Right in the middle of my chaos too, as I'm packing and getting ready to move and working and doing all the things. And I'm just like,
I don't know how you're, well, I do know how you're doing it. I do,
yeah,
yes. So yeah.
yeah. But for the grace of God go I, right?
Exactly. Thank you. Yes,
You're
absolutely.
welcome. You're welcome. Well, thank you so much. Everybody, thank you for watching and have a beautiful day. God bless you all.
Thank you. Have a blessed day.